Hello there, and welcome to your review or initial thoughts of Doctor Who Series 13 or Doctor Who Flux, the Halloween Apocalypse, Chapter 1. My initial thoughts on this episode is that it's a very strong opener. I enjoy particularly John Bishop's addition to the cast, playing the role as Dan Lewis. I thought the comedic timing was very well done. Overall, I think the episode itself is a very strong series opener for going into Jodie Whittaker's final series as the Doctor before handing it over to someone very soon. I love the fact that the Carvanista, which seems to be sort of a main villain type thing in the series. I love the bouncing dialogue between Carvanista and John Bishop's character Dan. I thought the fact that Dan was helping at the Liverpool Museum when we first saw him, or first met him really, was fairly well written, and you know, there are areas where Chibnall's writing of characters shine in certain areas on screen, and you can definitely see that. I think Dan is the right person to be written for. And I think Dan as a character is a very welcome addition to the TARDIS team, and it sort of, his addition to the team heals the Grahamless hole in my heart that Bradley Walsh has left since departing the series in, I want to say, Revolution? So yeah, it's nice to have a comedian actor type back in the series, and we've got so many. People will argue that the writers have crammed so much into 50 minutes, and there are two ways of looking at it, right? The writers have either crammed a lot of stuff into 50 minutes with the Weeping Angels, the Carvanista, the Centaurans, the Ravagers, and then old sort of Liverpool and stuff back in like the 50s, which, yes, they have crammed a lot of stuff in to 50 minutes for the first episode, and I don't mind that because it was executed very well. You had you had the introduction of the Centaurans, you had the introduction of the Weeping Angels, you had the introduction of the Ravagers, which I think was played off very well in the series opener anyway, and you know, all these different things culminating together to hopefully resolve the Timeless Child arc that was mentioned heavily and quite heavily focused on in Series 12 last year. So given that the episode itself opens with sort of the Doctor looking for information on the Division, we kind of have an idea of where this is going, and it's focusing in on the information that we got last year about the Division, and more information revealed about the Timeless Child, and hopefully at some point during the series we might see the Fugitive Doctor again, played by Joe Martin, which I'm really excited to see again. I thought Joe Martin was a great addition to Series 12, and I would long see it continue. Also as well, there was a particular part of the episode where the Doctor and I'm going to say Ravagers met, and he mentioned something about, oh, it's been a long time since I've seen you and I know exactly who you are, and all this kind of hinting towards who he might be or whatever. And I have a feeling that the Ravagers is a disguise for the Master. Now, given that we have seen set leaks and set photos being leaked online, specifically I'm looking at Twitter because that's where most of the information of set photos and set leaks come from. We did see a picture of presumably a crew member holding a box of stuff with the Master written on the box. So I don't know whether it's too early to speculate or not, but I'm hedging my bets and saying that the Ravagers are an ally of the Master, or they're either working for the Master to try and get at the Doctor at some point and try and mess with her a little bit. Which will be interesting because we got a lot of that in Series 12 and it turned out very well. And it'll be interesting to see now where the series goes. I mean, we've had the introduction of the Flux, which we now know is understood to be a hurricane ripping through the fabric of time and tearing up the universe. And there's lots of little nods to previous series as well. Like you've got the TARDIS hammer, which hasn't been seen since David Tennant's era. And then I know the hammer played a cameo appearance in the reopening of the Doctor Who experience in 2015 to suit Capaldi's era. And I think having the Weeping Angels back in the main story, I'm going to say for about 15 years since we last saw them. It's great to have them back, and yeah, I can't wait to see where this goes. I can't wait for next week. The Crimean War sounds really cool, and it's nice to see a new redesign of the Centaurans again, and particularly Dan Starkey is back as a Centauran, so we haven't seen the last of him. And if you want to check out next week's trailer, you can do so by clicking up in the card above. It's also nice as well to see Yaz and the Doctor interact again a few minutes before Dan gets picked up and thrown into a universe of unknown. But that's just my initial reaction and thoughts on the first episode of Doctor Who Series 13, or Doctor Who Flux Chapter 1, The Halloween Apocalypse. For more information on this, you can check out next week, or check out next week's episode, and I'll be back next week with an initial reaction and preview for episode 2. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next week, same time. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.